I lost 60 kg over a period of 9 years. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to divide this video into various nutrition and diet strategies and then show you what all I ate under each strategy. This video has all the diet and nutrition tips, strategies, and the food that I ate that led to my transformation. You don't have to eat the same food, but if you can cherry pick a couple of strategies from here and there, it will definitely help you. Hi, I'm Amra Ishaq. I am not an influencer. I'm just here to share information and my experiences so you can choose what's best for you. I would eat nutritious whole food with my macros, calories, everything counted for 80% of the time. And the remaining 20%, I gave myself the liberty to have fun food. To give you an example, you eat 3 meals a day, 7 days a week, that's 21 meals. I'm going to round it off to 20 because my math sucks. So out of 20, 16 meals that you eat, you have to be like on the dot with it. Right? And the rest 4 meals could be fun food, but make sure that you are within the calorie limit. And if you can, prioritize your protein and fiber for the fun foods as well. I ate the same type of meal almost every day. Here's the thing, one of the biggest challenges that most people, including a lot of my clients, face is that they cannot adhere to a diet because they do not meal plan. So what meal planning does is that it takes away the indecision part of it. Here's the thing, if you start a new diet, right, your limbic system, your emotional brain wants to go back to the same old habit. As human beings, we crave comfort even more than we crave happiness, right? So your limbic system is like, hey dude, let's just go back, this seems difficult. And your prefrontal cortex, which is the decision making part of your brain, will try to control it. And that is the willpower that we speak about. It's like authorizing your limbic system, like, hey, we started something, let's not do this. But the problem is that your prefrontal cortex gets stuck in overthinking and overanalyzing, and then it leads to a decision paralysis. And then you're like, this diet is too hard, I don't want to do it, which is why meal planning helps. Now, meal planning doesn't mean that you have to have like containers with your rice and broccoli and chicken in it. It means just knowing what you're going to eat. The thing that really helped me was that I would have the same type of meal, especially breakfast. Now, breakfast is the time when you're in a rush or you have to go to work, go to school, and you're like, oh, I don't have the time to make my oats and scrambled eggs and blah, blah, blah. So you're like, let's just eat the paratha that mummy's made at home and then, I'll start again tomorrow. Breakfast sets the tone for the day. Breakfast, okay, the thing about breakfast being the most important meal of the day is both true and false. Okay, it was a marketing campaign by Kellogg's, very interesting. If you want me to do a video on it, I'll do it separately. But breakfast is the first thing that you eat. It is not necessarily eating the first thing in the morning. Here's the difference, you don't have to wake up and eat immediately. Again, it may differ from one person to the other. Someone like me, I do not eat for a couple of hours after waking up, because that is when I'm more alert, more focused, because obviously acetylcholine is high, adenosine is low. I want to get a lot of work done. I do my fasted cardio and then I eat. And that has worked for me because I also don't tend to overeat later. Some of the things that I would eat for breakfast was eggs and bread, oats and eggs, oats and protein, protein pancakes, leftover chicken from last night, and mashed potatoes, but something very similar. So what I would recommend is to have like a list of 5 to 10 food and then keep recycling it. Strategy number 3, do not eat back your exercise calories. Please don't. First of all, here's the thing, the number that you see, let's take cardio for instance, right? Or you get on the treadmill and you burn 1000 calories. That number is bullshit. It is an arbitrary number. It is not an accurate number. Even if you have your heart rate monitor, I say, I wear a smartwatch and it is calculating the calorie closer to what I burned. Here's the thing, if you're using any app to track, right, there is a margin, and there is a huge margin, almost to the tune of 30 to 50%. So whatever you're tracking on the app itself is not very accurate. Second, your heart rate monitor may be very close to what you're burning, but again, it's not very accurate. So that margin of error is already huge. Also, side note, weightlifting does not burn a lot of calories. So do not even think of eating back those calories. My suggestion would be that whatever you're burning, do not eat back those calories. However, you will have to see what works for you. If you feel that, you're hungrier, you're getting more cravings, you're not getting enough adequate nutrition, then you'll have to revisit your diet and see your total caloric intake and see how your macro breakup is and how you're responding to that. When you restrict something, right, your brain is automatically going to think that I want that. So the moment you say, what, we are going to cut out sugar from today, I am not going to eat cake, and your brain is like, did you say cake? So instead of restricting complete food groups or restricting food that you enjoy, think of how you can replace it with a healthier version. Anyone who knows me knows that I love desserts. I will kill for desserts. I love it. Love it. Okay. So now what I've done over the period of 9 years is I have learned to make healthier versions. So I make a lot of like whey protein mug cake. I will make a lot of protein pancakes. I would make chocolate mousse with whey protein. Store bought dessert, right? Like your cheesecakes and all come at a really, really high calorie. So it can hike up your calories by at least 500 to 700 calories. So instead of doing that, see what is it that you can make at home, so you know whatever ingredients is going into it, and yeah, you can enjoy the food that you like without going overboard. This replacing versus restrictive attitude is instrumental in diet adherence. It's something that you can follow for life. Even today, like if I want to have dessert, I would first try to make it at home. If it's something specific that I want, like a cheesecake, then I would probably have it like once in a while. I've got permission from my coach to have a cheat meal after 5 months. Every day I have like a whey protein chocolate mousse that I make, and it is delicious, dude. Right now my regime is completely different. Everything is very, very regimented. Everything is on time, right? But even back then I had some sort of a timing structure. Like I said, I do not eat first thing in the morning. I take a couple of hours before I eat my breakfast, so there is some sort of an intermittent fasting thing going on. And I would not eat. I gave myself like a cutoff time at night, so I'm not going to eat after that. So especially if I'm like sitting and watching Netflix, it's very easy. If you're not mindful, it's very easy for you to binge eat when you're binge watching series. When you tell yourself, right, proactively that, you know what, I'm not going to eat anything after so and so time, it's like a voluntary command to your brain that, hey dude, that's it, we're done for tonight. Also, one tip I've heard, that when you brush your teeth at night, it sends a signal to your brain that we're done eating, we're done for the day, no more food, and it can help with diet adherence. This is one tip that you take away from this video. Make sure it is this. Okay, it is somewhat the holy grail because it will differ from one person to the other. Sixth tip is that prioritize protein and fiber. So even if you're going out to eat, right, like you've gone to a restaurant or gone to a function, make sure that what's on your plate is higher in protein and fiber. Finish that first and then have your carbs and fat. The reason I say this is because protein and fiber, A, are filling, very satiating, very important for your system, not just for diet adherence. It has a good amount of macros and micros, and they have a higher thermic effect of food. Now, what that means is that the amount of energy that is required for the digestion, the absorption, and the synthesis of protein and fiber is much higher. Your body is burning calories as you ingest food as well, to break it down for it to be absorbed by the body. So the thermic effect of protein and fiber is much higher compared to carb and fat. It does not mean that these are free food. A lot of people think that, you know what, I'll just have as much vegetable as I can, as much salad as I can, as much fiber as I can, and I'll be full. True, all my meals have a side of salad, all my meals have some of the other fiber and green. But here's the thing, fiber also has caloric value. If you want to count the calorie from your fiber, treat it as carbs. But the fiber that you eat sits in your digestive tract, it gets fermented there, and it gets reabsorbed as short chain fatty acids, which have caloric value. Also, depending on the health of your gut and your gut microflora, what happens is that too much fiber can lead to a lot of gastrointestinal distress, constipation, malabsorption of certain vitamins, and it can make you feel bloated. So again, you have to listen to your body. One more thing to be mindful of, especially when you're eating out, is even though when you're prioritizing protein and fiber, right, there are a lot of added elements to it. Like a chicken tandoori that you eat at a restaurant will have like a lot of oil or ghee added to it as well, compared to the one that you make at home. So you still have to be a little more mindful of your overall caloric intake. But when it comes to the food on your plate, prioritize protein and fiber as much as you can. Avoid liquid calories. Here's the thing. So when I was at my heaviest, I used to have like a 2-liter bottle of soda every day. Like that's like 200 grams of sugar right there. When I first started losing the weight, I wouldn't have a drop of soda. But yeah, I did have chai because that was something I couldn't give up. I've given up on chai now. Life is sad. So liquid calories, avoid it as much as you can for two reasons. One, it does not have the same nutritional value. Your sodas, your fizzy drinks, your macchiato, soda shikanji, none of it. It's just like a waste of calories. But what about your shakes and your smoothies? it's an individual preference, right? Shakes and smoothies does not give me the feeling of having eaten. Like for me, I would want to sit down and eat solid food. But if you're someone who has a time crunch and who's always on the go, I think smoothies and shakes are then a good way of getting the nutrients in, depending on what you're putting in. But as much as you can, try to eat your food so that it also gives you a feeling of satiety, right? So the entire act of eating, chewing also sends signals to your brain and can also activate hormones that are anorexigenic, that are anti-hunger, and sends a signal of satiety to the brain. But again, whatever works for you. One of the most crucial points that I try to make in all of my videos is that there is no one diet strategy or one diet that suits everyone. It really depends upon you, what works for you, how your hormonal profile is, what your lifestyle is like, and basis that you make the changes, so that not only is it easier for you to stick to it during your fat loss journey, but you can carry this forward for life. I hope this video helps. If you have any questions, please do let me know. I'd be happy to answer them.